Hi there.
It's weird that the intro music just cuts off. Like, we should be able to say, OBS, no, do a nice fade out there when we change scenes. But anyway, that was the Christmas intro. It's Friday the 6th of December, and this is
The Scoop,
the UK's #1 video game podcast, if we do say so ourselves. My name is Graham Day, and I'm joined by the man that we call
Bibby.
Well, we call him a lot of other things when he's not around, but when he's here, we call him
Bibby.
I'll read.
Bibby.
You good, mate?
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. We are here to give you our thoughts and impressions of the biggest, the best, and breaking stories from the world of video games. So strap yourselves in, get comfortable. We have a couple of stories talking about Fortnite, some PUBG, some ex-PlayStation bosses coming back from the dead to comment on the world of video games that they left behind, and some video games that are being left behind, like XDefiant. Plus, it's Friday, so you will get a roundup of !FF. That is the freest games for you today on this Friday. Nice. If you are in the stream, please do feel free to get involved, and it's important that you do, because the live stream is turned into a podcast, a video on YouTube, and an audio podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and Amazon Music. So please do feel free to get involved, because the on-demand listeners can pause and rewind and fast forward and do that sort of stuff, but they can't get involved in the chat like you guys can. So do it on their behalf, please. Before we jump in, a couple of talking points. First up, the loot drop. The loot drop, we did an export of the list on Monday, so we will do that in the Discord. Basically, if you sub to the channel before Monday, is it 2 p.m., 3 p.m.? What time is the export?
It was usually 3 p.m. It was exported at 3 p.m. on Monday, so I have it. We just need to discuss prizes. Yeah.
So we are, we'll be doing that this afternoon, most likely. We also have another prize to draw as well, which was the Astro A50. That's also closed, so you can't enter into that one. But if you did enter in by watching our YouTube video and commenting on that video, then you are still in with a chance of doing that. I think we discussed the other day, I mentioned it on the stream on Wednesday, me and Bibby discussed, we're going to probably pick our 5 favourites and then do a Wheel of Names draw for the 5 favourites out of the entries. So it has a little bit of judge selection, but then is also dealt a little bit by RNG too. So if you've done good shit, then you are within a chance of winning. If you didn't, then you're not. So nice. Nice. Also, and I need to confirm how this works, we have another couple of little bits to give away thanks to Logitech. We have 2 discount codes, like vouchers. That's the word I'm looking for. We have a discount code. That's ice cream on Logitech purchases. Nice. But we have a couple of vouchers, little cash vouchers, if anyone is looking to get a Logitech Christmas present or something. But I just need to confirm what the process is with that. So we do have a couple of vouchers to give away this month. So yeah, let us know if you want to buy something, because you might be able to get something cheaper. Nice. Jump into the
Anyone
screen.
wants to buy me a Logitech G Cloud, that'll be great.
You don't need a G Cloud. What you need, mate, is a Steam Deck. Because then when you get a Steam Deck, mate, you can use it to remote play onto your PS5 and play the games that you play already anyway, mate. That's right, let's go, mate.
What are you playing at the moment, Graham?
PUBG, PS5, remote play, nice. No, but I am looking to set it up so that is an option. No, I've not had much chance to play it, to be fair. I've had a couple of hours on it spread out over a few days. So for anyone that doesn't know, I kept it quiet. It was my birthday on Tuesday. And I got a Steam Deck for my birthday, but then went out for food, so only got a little bit of time to play with it on Tuesday, start some games installing. Wednesday, after work, was streaming, so I talked about it, I showed it off a bit on stream, but didn't really have the time to do anything with it. Yesterday was parents' evening, so finished at work and then went to Chloe's school and stuff, and then did my dailies and stuff, and it was bedtime. So this evening, I'm hoping I get a couple of hours to like get fully into it. So I've only had a little bit of time to play, and I can't remember what it's called. Was it Super Soccer Blast or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
A game that me and Bibby streamed in lockdown with Show. So I've played a little bit of that because it's a really simple football game. So it was 400 meg. It literally installed in about 3 seconds, and it played really, really well on the Steam Deck. So I just spent a little bit of time playing that because it was easy opt-in. But in terms of using it, in terms of the function, the trackpads and stuff on it, the fact that you can switch it between like tablet sort of landscape device into a desktop mode is fucking gorgeous. It runs so smoothly. So yeah, very much excited to do a bit more with it. I've just installed Indiana Jones on it today as well. Well, yesterday. It's preloading. It's now out today, so I'm going to see if that loads on it. That does have quite high PC specs, so it might not run on the Steam Deck. But we'll see. We'll see how we get into it. So yeah, long story short, if you are getting a Logitech G Cloud, use code Ice Cream, and if you're not, get a Steam Deck. Job was good one. Nice. Let's go, baby. Tank, how you doing, mate? Hope the ICU. Wait, what's the scoop? No idea. We'll figure it out as we go. Alas, back to work. You're not alas, mate. You're a dude. You're a geezer. But yes, enjoy work. We're going to jump into games then. Games news. So we've got a few stories to talk about. Well, first up, we'll talk about Fortnite OG and how that's going to work with the seasons. Then we'll talk about PUBG creator Brendan Green giving an update on what he's been working on. An ex-PlayStation boss has commented on the cost of video games. One video game has felt that cost as XDefiant becomes the latest live service thing to bite the bullet. And then we'll talk to you about what games you can get for free on your Steam Deck or PC or whatever. But we'll let you know as we go. But Mr. Bibb...
Mm-hmm.
Have you been watching any OG Fortnite stuff?
Do you know what, Graham? I haven't yet because I was at football training last night when it went live, and then I'm not usually back in the house until about 10:30, so I went straight to bed. So I've not seen anything of it yet. However, super excited to jump back into it.
Well, it gets even more exciting as I give you a rundown of exactly how that works. No, I can't because the fucking thing's not there. Pretend that this didn't happen. Nice, back in the room. Lovely. Fortnite OG will rotate Chapter 1 seasons every couple of months. This is written by Tom Phillips over at Eurogamer, and it says the original map relaunches tomorrow with ranked mode to follow. So if anyone doesn't know, Fortnite has gone OG. Obviously, there's shitloads of rocket launchers and lightsabers and flying perks and things like that, which a lot of people like and a lot of people don't like. So Fortnite has given an opportunity, giving you a way to use them or not. Anyway, we'll jump into the article. Epic Games has detailed a few more details on its much anticipated Fortnite OG mode, which brings back the game's beloved original Battle Royale island as a newly permanent addition. As previously suspected, Fortnite OG will rotate through the game's original Chapter 1 seasons. Today, we learned that these will begin with a season lasting until the 31st of January, so roughly 2 months. This means, of course, shorter seasons than the original Fortnite Chapter 1 featured, and shorter than the game's main Chapter 6 version. But we're all waiting for the meteor impact and the volcano anyway, right? So this is good news. I didn't really like the volcano, the meteor impact, should I say, when you crashed and left a big hole, and then you got those things that you and then jump for. Not.
Yeah.
But we'll go into that afterwards. Fortnite OG will feature solos and squad modes at launch with both classic building enabled and zero build options. There you go. That's what we were talking about. So OG will have zero build. Other improvements from the original Chapter 1 will include modern building mechanics and traversal options to sprint, slide, mantle, door bash, and move while healing. Epic Games does not make mention of the very latest mechanics added in Chapter 6, such as wall jumping. As previously announced, Fortnite OG will feature its own distinct battle pass, which will feature 45 tiers of rewards. This is one of the 4 in-game passes now included in the £10 a month Fortnite Crew subscription and offers 3 skins plus other bits and pieces. Epic Games previously brought back its hugely popular original Fortnite map 12 months ago for a limited time, the launch of which saw the game hit 44.7 million players in 24 hours. Oof. Just a few. That's like the scoop on YouTube. Oof. Last weekend, Fortnite broke its own player record for a live concert event with 14 million concurrent players turning up to watch Eminem, Snoop Dogg as well, Ice Spice, and Juice WRLD. Juice WRLD. I'm
sure he's passed away.
I was going to say, that was a bit that confused me. But anyway, I didn't know that because Connor got into beef with Juice WRLD on Twitter or something.
Did he?
Yeah, don't know how. I think it was like a mistaken identity or something. Connor got like some angry tweet, or they asked him to take something down or something. I can't quite remember. But yeah, Snoop Joggy Jog. Snoop Joggy Jog. Nice. As we jump back Okay, Fortnite OG will rotate Chapter 1 seasons every couple of months. So the end of January, the current Chapter 1 season will finish. It's a separate play arc from the main Fortnite map. So if you want to do OG stuff, that's a separate gameplay loop. It's got a separate battle pass, separate functions, solos and squads, zero build and build modes. So yeah, full different systems. What are your thoughts, Mr. Bibb?
I've got so many, but ultimately they all come under the same banner in that I am genuinely excited to go back and play this. Like, I'm going to be the first to admit that when Fortnite first came out, it wasn't the graphics or anything that put me off. It was the building, and I hated it. Like, I couldn't get good, even though I had time back when that game first came out. I just couldn't work it out. Like, me and you talk about it all the time. Me and you both played it a lot in 2018, 2019, around there, going into 2020 around Christmas times and stuff. That would be the most favorable ways. And you would build the wall and then the ramp and then the wall on the ramp. And I would just be trying to take the fire whilst you started building, because I couldn't get my head around it. I was dog shit at it. And I very much fell into when the zero build came out, that was where I genuinely found my love for Fortnite, because it was a case of winning a gunfight rather than being shit at the gunfight and equally as shit at building. I now have a really good chance of being able to win games and take people out because I was half decent at the gunplay. So the fact that I'm now able to go back and enjoy the game from its origins, because we had a taster of it, don't forget, last year when Fortnite OG came out for a couple of months, I think around the same time last year. So the fact that we're now going to get this as a permanent mode in there makes me so happy to go back and actually put more hours into this game again. Now, I'm going to, again, first to say that I haven't played Fortnite for maybe 3 months at least. Well, in fact, it's more than that. It's at least 2 seasons, because the seasons didn't resonate with me. There was stuff in there that didn't want to make me log in and grind the battle pass out. I look at it and I go, I don't want a skin for that character. That character means nothing to me. It gets to this time of year and the battle pass turns into either a Marvel or a Star Wars themed battle pass, which definitely interests me. So I'm more than happy to go in and start to clear some of that stuff down. But having a second bite, or in this case, a third bite of the cherry and going back to play some OG Fortnite, it does make me regret wanting to play FIFA tonight and play some ICF. And I know the MC Fixer, the captain or co-manager, will be furious at that statement. But I mean, I am at heart now a massive Fortnite fan when the season fits.
Yeah,
shall we say?
I think that's the best way to play it as well. So there was a season, and it was like 2 seasons back now, that I did want to play, and I just never did. And it had some Marvel skins in it, maybe an Iron Patriot or something, and I can't quite remember. And I was like, oh, I'll do that. How long's left of the season? And that, I think, the fact that I kept asking that showed that I was enjoying other things, but wanted to jump into that. But the way I would play Fortnite was I would wait until all of the weekly missions were in, and then I would smash through 4 days, intense, max out the season, and take Optimus Prime or whatever it was that season away with me afterwards. Jobs are good and nice. And I clearly wanted to do that again, but wasn't prepared to stop what I was playing. And I'm sat here now knowing I'm doing it again with, I know Fortnite's coming. I know this Fortnite Christmas, and I'm waiting for the Christmas Lodge or whatever it's called that comes back into Fortnite and so on, so you can go in and open your presents. Like when getting the fucking Millennium Falcon from the tree, fucking happiest day of my life. Not quite, but it felt like it was proper buzz.
It was so good.
Yeah.
Again, so immersive. They managed to get you in with stuff like that, and it's the shittest low-hanging fruit on the tree. I mean, no pun intended, because it was on a Christmas tree, but like having them being able to spin around, you could see the Millennium Falcon there, and it's wrapping paper, and you're like, oh, I wonder what this could be, and then it pops out, and you're able to spin around in it and shit, and have it as your glider. Like that stuff is so immersive, and yeah, you're absolutely right.
Well, it's that, and then there's Call of Duty, which has Warzone, which I enjoy anyway, just not Rebirth stuff. It's all or nothing for me. Get in, get gone, get dead, get out, go again. Angry as fuck. That's what the PUBG experience you want. Get that in fucking Call of Duty. So I've got Call of Duty, which has now brought it back Prop Hunt, which I haven't played for 3 years. And I was talking to Nietzsche about it last night. I fucking loved Prop Hunt when it was back on. not the original Modern Warfare, but Modern Warfare 2019 or whatever it was. Oh, fucking, it must be like 4 or 5 years then. Anyway, played it on that. Fucking loved it then. And then I was watching. Was it Twinks that was streaming last night? Tank. Was it? Or was it? I'm trying to remember who it was. It was one of the I5IL boyos. Yeah, man, Twinks. Yeah, so I was watching Twinks play last night, and just it's such a fucking buzz because you don't have to be good. The only skill in it is, can you hide an inanimate object in a place where it looks like it's meant to be there? Yeah. Then the only skill is, you're probably going to get shot at some point. Can you use decoys and flash grenades effectively to get away? That's it. Like, other than that, there's not really anything else to it, and it's just the bizarreness of that, which I'm like, I'm sat here just getting angry at fucking PUBG being the sweatiest game in the world. Why don't I just stop playing it and play these instead? So yeah, I just need to do it. The other thing is part of the PUBG is anchored to the streams, like the Wednesday and Saturday. I need to just rip off the band-aid and go, okay, Saturday I'm not going to play PUBG. I'm going to play Fortnite instead. That's it. That's the plan, or something like that. And just figure it out as we go, because making myself stick to it to a stream schedule is keeping me out of these experiences that are probably not that I'm not enjoying PUBG when I'm playing it, but I'm probably going to enjoy the differences as well. And variety is the spice of life. So, yeah.
Yeah, it is a difficult one to navigate, especially because I know how much PUBG means to you and how much time you genuinely have invested in that game. Not to mention the money through battle passes and things like that.
Well,
and
not
it
for
is
the
part
last
of your
4.
daily life now. Well, yeah, but it is part of your daily life now, isn't it? Like you just said then, like before you went to bed, you ticked off your dailies just to be able to get that XP towards your whatever it is that you have in the game.
Well,
like
it's I'm not even ticking off the dailies towards things. I'm just ticking off the dailies for the completionism element of knowing that I've done it. So usually it would be I tick off the dailies to go to the XP to go towards the battle pass. But this pass is what they call a crafter pass, where you just put money in to effectively open loot crates and get a progressive skin that you might or might not get at the end of the pass. The last pass was Bedtime Beasts, which was basically Pajama Party Mark 2, which was dog shit. The pass before that was a crafter pass for Lamborghinis or something, I can't remember, which I'd love the Lamborghini Urus. It's one of my favourite cars to exist. But it was another one where you would spend your money in your pass and still not have enough to get the vehicle at the end of it. You'd have to then spend more money on like a couple of £100 potentially on crates to get the paint job that you want for it or whatever. And then the pass before that was shit as well. It was some astronautic crap. So I went astronautic crap, crafter pass. Bedtime Beasts, crafter pass. So I'm just like, I'm not even grinding XP towards a game that is ticking anything off. I'm just doing it because I enjoy playing that game with people like Nietzsche and 12 and Chelt, so we played with on Monday kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's that. But I'm thinking, I just rip off the Band-Aid, go somewhere else and have that social experience on something that gives me some form of completionism. So, yeah, Fortnite OG is definitely something that offers me that, especially if the seasons are updating every couple of months. Short burst, in it, out, hit it and quit sort of stuff. And then I've got PUBG on the side, and then I've got Call of Duty on the side. Call of Duty, I think, is the one that I want to get back into, because I spent years of my life, probably the same amount of time that I've spent in PUBG playing Call of Duty, grinding through the Modern Warfares, the World at Wars, the early Black Opses and stuff like that, and then just moved away from it. I want to get back into that, and I feel like that offers content that is more aligned with me. So I feel like, yeah, get back into it. COD Battle Pass repays for itself when it's complete, I think. Yeah, and we don't even pay for it. This is the thing. We don't pay for the Battle Pass. We get Black Cell and things like that gifted, being COD partners. So it makes sense anyway from that perspective. The content speaks to me. I can fucking jump in as Dark Noir and fucking all the other skins that I've got. Rip Ghostface. I would absolutely love to have that back again, but there we go. Like, what? There was a Marine one, an SAS one that we got at the launch of this game kind of thingy, that they've given us the Tracer pack for that as well. So, yeah, we get stuff for free. You should just play that. That should be it. Jobs are good and nice. You know, play a game that we partnered with as opposed to one that doesn't want us as partners. But yeah, there you go. Anyway, that's a whole tangent.
I need to go back to Warzone because I've not played that in genuinely years.
I definitely think PUBG is a better BR. 100% think that. But you can have fun in Warzone and stuff as well. So that's the trade-off. But anyway, Fortnite OG will have different seasons that will rotate every couple of months. So if you did play through Chapter 1 in Fortnite, you've got a couple of months of that before the next chapter comes in as well. How you doing, West? Free to play on Game Pass is just shifts. Pinch. Yeah, man. Yeah. Speaking of free to play, let's jump into our next little bit of news. Let's hide that. Let's jump over here. Chris Scullion at VGC has the next bit of news that says PUBG creator gives update on Prologue and Artemis, launches free tech demo Preface. So Brendan Green last gave information on Prologue 3 years ago. Has it been that much? Wow. Okay. Let's jump into the article. PUBG creator Brendan Green has shared new information on his studio's upcoming projects Prologue and Artemis, and has released a free tech demo called Preface Undiscovered World. Green, who's best known as PlayerUnknown, announced back in 2021 that he had decided to leave Krafton, the South Korean publisher that owns PUBG Studios and published PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, PUBG. At the time, Green revealed that he was working on a new project called Artemis and a precursor to it called Prologue. Now, in a new 6-minute video, Green has given more information on Prologue as well as a new free tech demo called Preface Undiscovered World, which is available to download now. According to Green, Preface... Whoop, we got a raid. Stokes! How you doing, mate? Welcome in, everyone from Stokes' Stream. How you doing? Grab a seat. We're just talking about Brendan Green, a.k.a. PlayerUnknown, and what he's working on. So I'll read the last paragraph just to give you a little bit of an insight. So in a new 6-minute video, Green has given more information on Prologue, which is something that he's working on, a new game, as well as a new free tech demo called Preface Undiscovered World, which is available to download now. According to Green, Preface is a way for players to test the studio's new in-house engine, Melba, which allows it to, quote, scale up to large agent interaction on massive worlds. In the video, Green describes Preface as, quote, a very simple experiment where we have an Earth-scale planet with some various biomes and some simple systems to allow you to explore it. The way that our terrain tech works is that until you go there, that place isn't discovered, he explains. You won't know what the biome is. You won't know what the ground looks like until you get there. So it truly is an undiscovered world, end quote. PlayerUnknown Productions CTO Lauren Gorga also explains in the video that Preface and Prologue are 2 different attempts to work on the technology that will eventually power the studio's full game, Artemis. Quote, why are we working on 2 projects at the same time is because I don't believe in technology developed in a vacuum, Gorga says. This is why we have Prologue, which is on Unreal Engine, but we are using part of our technology to generate a world. It's why we have Preface, which is more about attacking the scale, so we attack the problem from both ends. And then after, we'll have some different products, and I'm saying products because sometimes it's a game, sometimes it'll be a technical demo, sometimes it'll be something different. That's going to help us prove that the technology is ready to go to the next step. Prologue is available to wishlist on Steam, but Preface Undiscovered World is currently available to download now. What's that on? On Steam, yes, nice. With Gorga asking players to try it out to give the team metrics it can use to study what's working. Quote, even if you spend a few minutes playing it, that's going to help us a lot because we're going to gather data that's going to help us understand how the technology behaves in the wild, Gorga says in the video. That's the best help you can give us for now. Okay, I'm going to be honest. I don't know what that means. So, Brendan Green, a.k.a. PlayerUnknown, we've known for a while that he was working on Prologue. Prologue, as the name suggests, is a precursor to Artemis. So their end goal is to create the game Artemis. So Prologue has come before that. And now, coming before that, is a free tech demo called Preface. So Preface is the prologue, which prologues Artemis. Nice. Okay. But what is Artemis? What's it gonna be?
Yeah.
So it's. I mean, I am interested. The thing with Brendan Green and PlayerUnknown that kind of excites me is that he's not a game developer. He is now, clearly has been for the last decade nearly, but he's not a game developer by trade before that. He's bounced around a few different things, including designer and artist and things like that. So he's a creative person. So someone with that creative person that has the clearly a great direction and a great vision, as we've seen. He created the battle royale genre effectively as it is. He didn't. He was one of many people that accounted to it. Well, fine, whatever. Argue amongst that yourselves if you want. But we'll just say, for argument's sake, he created battle royale. And his direction on a community of unpaid people as well, across Arma 2, across Arma 3, across DayZ, into H1Z1, and then eventually into PUBG, pulling all of that stuff together to direct a brand new studio to create one of the most successful games in history. Clearly, he's very good at lasering on an end goal. So this Artemis stuff seems very good. I've just never known something have so many prefaces and prologues. I use those two words as puns intended before we get to the end goal. But so yeah, having seen a bunch of his tweets and things over the last few weeks, he's clearly got a lot of stuff. So he showed. Did you ever see a video he posted? And it was like, look at that mountain all the way over there in the distance. It'd be good if we can get there. And then he effectively just sets his character running. And it's literal miles away. And he speeds up this video. And it still lasts like 3 or 4, 5 minutes or something. I can't remember what it was. And it's just running across procedurally generated environments and so on, up and down little valleys and gorges and so on, through trees and forests, over snowy bits, until he eventually goes up this fuck-off mountain and gets to the top, and then turns back and looks back to where he was from the other day, other end of the video. And I'm thinking, oh, this is all cool, but what does it mean? Where are we going with it?
What's going to happen in between? Obviously, he's just running there, but there has to be something that's happening whilst you are getting there. There needs to be some form of action element or discoverability. Like, I love the fact that it was alluding to in this article that everything's a landmark. Like, you can't see anything until you actually go to that destination, and then it becomes discovered. Like, everything can be discovered, and that's what entices me, that adventure that you're having. Like, obviously, you could just go outside and walk around and discover places. You probably, lots of areas around your own house that you've probably not discovered yet. Towns next door that you've not walked through yet. But obviously, having that wind down element where you sat at home and you're like, okay, this is a new world, a new experience. Like, you get that in most open world games. The reason you're playing it is because something resonates with you, whether or not it be like Cyberpunk or GTA or No Man's Sky or those kind of games. Skyrim, obviously, being definitely my bag when it comes to stuff like that. So having things take place that is procedurally generated and actually decent, there needs to be some underlying thing as to why you're doing it, though. And that's obviously something that we don't have yet. So all this looks amazing and looks cool, and I like the fact that one thing is going to lead to another. But there's a lot of gaps to be filled along the way, and I've no doubt that we are going to get something from it in the very near future as to what the whole concept of the game is going to be. Yeah, I'm getting shades of Hideo Kojima at this moment in time, because it could be absolutely batshit, and we have no idea what's going to be hitting. We could have our hearts set on something, and it goes, actually, proper left field turn here, and then it's somewhat completely different, and we're like, what the fuck, where's that come from? That's never been hinted at, yet here we are. So we'll see. See.
I hope so. Brendan Green played survival games and mill sim sort of games, and he's given us BR as a result of that. I hope he goes back into that, because even this morning I was watching. Shout out to Mikey Larkin, by the way. If anyone doesn't know Mikey Larkin, he's very much a good watch on Twitch. Do you know what? I'll do a shout. I'll do an actual shout. /shout out. Mikey Larkin. There we go. Very much recommend following. If you're into DayZ and if you're into funny comedy content, definitely a good watch. But I've been watching Mikey Larkin because he's been playing DayZ. I want that big, expansive open world stuff. But DayZ is ugly as fuck. If PUBG is ugly, DayZ is ugly. Especially when you don't realize how ugly PUBG is until you load up PUBG on PC, and then you load up a bigger game on PC, like a Call of Duty or something like that. You see, PUBG console is like, ugh. PUBG PC is like, ooh, and then a COD or something like that, you're like, ooh, and you see the scaling, the difference in how very dare you, DayZ is beautiful. Nope.
I suppose it depends on if you're on a modded server, because you can obviously it can look better than vanilla DayZ. But I get where you're coming from. I mean, PUBG on PC and console are night and day, but they're still ugly. I'm going to say ugly as in it's not a disaster class, but they are ugly in compared to most AAA games of the same caliber. Because let's not forget, PUBG is a AAA game. We can go on about it being an indie game all we want in its formative years, but it's a AAA game.
100%. 100%. Like the most played game concurrently in the world ever. No, it's never. That's it going free to play as well, and that no way is that indie, no chance. But I mean, I play PUBG, so I don't mind my games being ugly. I was watching DayZ because, despite being a bit fugly still, pardon me, it looks like PS1. It doesn't at all. But when you look at the textures of some of the buildings and so on, and this is modded servers as well. Sometimes you need a fucking mega rig playing the absolute tits mods to get it looking crispy. But for a lot of people, DayZ still looks clunky. It still has the noise when you're eating a can of tuna. Who the fuck eats crunchy tuna? What is that shit? And all sorts of other bits in it but it has something beautiful in it. There's a reason why thousands of people still play it, still watch it on Twitch. So if we can get, going back to the point, we can get something that does the DayZ thing, but with modern tech and modern visuals. Like, DayZ has never truly gone mainstream. PUBG pushed Battle Royale into the mainstream. That was like a less mainstream version of survival games kind of thing.
One sec, mate. Someone's just at the door.
Yeah. So survival games have never really gone full mainstream. Nice look at baby's pajamas. Let's go, baby. So if that's what this is, if Preface is a tech demo that we can see expansive undiscovered worlds, that's the name of it, Preface Undiscovered World. If we can see how those, shout out PJs, if we can see how those environments can evolve into something that's much better, much more dense, much more dynamic, much more vibrant than we got in games like DayZ, that we get in games like Scum and other survival games, then we can push that through. I don't know if you ever... Does anyone ever remember the first trailer for Prologue, where it was like a fixed forest at night in like a storm was kicking off, so you got the lighting of the lightning flashes, you got the movement of the trees, you got the audio of the rain and so on, and then it went from being a fixed camera perspective to it was almost like a panicked, rushed head turning. So just talking about the original trailer for Prologue. Don't know if you remember that bit.
Yeah.
So
the one in the forest, was it?
Yeah, exactly. So if we've got Preface being the tech demo, where we're seeing these forest environments and the world, and is that there? You got Prologue putting that, maybe I assume, could be wrong, into something a bit more linear and a bit more narrative-ish. Those then give you different experiences that hopefully will then build into something Artemis related. Nowhere in the world has it ever said that Artemis is going to be a survival game. This is me projecting what I would love to see it as. I would love to see, like, how can we class DayZ? Like, I don't know if DayZ would class as AAA. So if that's an A or AA game, give us a AAA survival game, which is the beauty and magic of what DayZ offers, but in a shiny, fully skinned up world. Then if that's what Artemis is, then that's a recipe for success. Because I don't understand how. It's almost like it took Power World before Nintendo thought, maybe we should do an open world Pokemon game where people can actually do that sort of stuff. It takes someone else to do it. Why aren't DayZ going, here's a fucking texture pack, bang, that changes the way the whole game looks and puts it AAA and so on. Increases the stability of servers, allows more players to play, makes it more accessible to general players and so on. No one's done that with a milsim current day survival game, and if that's what this is, I would love to see it. I don't know if that is what it is, but the issue here we have is we don't really know what it is, because we've got 3 games. 2 of them are kind of tech demos. 1 of them we still don't know about, and that's the main one. So, yeah, Brendan Green doing weird Hideo Kojima stuff, like Bibby said, and hopefully it turns out to be decent. Don't know what it is. We'll find out. Do you know what? I did click on the link, though, that it is a free game to play on Steam. So I think I'm going to click on the Preface tech demo and give it a go. I might even try that one on my Steam Deck as well. Steam Deck says no. Okay. But yes, there you go. Fortnite OG coming back. Nice. PUBG creator moving forward. Nice. What is this? 2018? God damn. Speaking of which, let me take the discussing now off the screen as we jump over to our next bit of news, because in 2018, PlayStation was managed by Sean Layden. I don't actually know if that's true, but it just seemed like a good tangent, so I'd use it as a jumping off point. But this article, once again at VGC, written by Chris Scullion, says ex-PlayStation boss says games should be shorter because development costs are not sustainable. I swear, Sean Layden says this every 5 minutes. So either he is just beating the same drum, or he's got one interview that people are just taking bits out of it every few weeks when the news is slow. But we'll go into it anyway. So Sean Layden says development costs are not sustainable. Quote, what would Coppola do if you walked out halfway through his movie? Question mark. Sean Layden asks. So into the article. Former PlayStation executive Sean Layden says the price of game development has reached an unsustainable point and games should be made shorter to remedy this. In an interview with Eurogamer, Layden was asked if it was enough to keep games selling. Oh my god! If it was enough to keep selling games to an audience that isn't growing at a rapid rate. Layden acknowledged that the industry is currently about getting more money off of the same people and suggested that until this changed, game development costs had to come down. Quote, every generation it costs twice as much to build a game, he explained. What costs 1 million on PS1, then costs 2 million, then costs 4 million, then 16 million, it goes exponentially. During the PS4 generation, which was the last I was associated with, the game dev was 150 million if you wanted it to be top of the line, and that's before marketing. So by that math, PS5 games should eventually reach 300 to 400 million, and that is just outright not sustainable. He added, let me get rid of the ads. He added, it's like we're at the end of the 18th century and we're realizing that building cathedrals is really expensive. Can we continue to build these massive edifices to God for this incredible amount of labor and time, or should we just build 4 walls and a roof, and that's a church, right? If we're afraid we've got, I'll start again. I'm afraid we've built AAA gaming into a kind of cathedral business, and it just can't grow any further. In fact, it's probably grown too far already. Asked how this trend could be rolled back to something more sustainable, Layden replied that, quote, games are too long, end quote, suggesting that while the length of a game used to be one of its main selling points, as the average audience has aged, a long game has become less of an attractive prospect for some players. For the longest time, we keep banging on 100 hours of gameplay. This is going to be awesome. It's 100 hours of gameplay, like the most important thing to know. That's the most important thing to know, he explained. That was a metric in the early years when the average gamer was 18 to 23. And when you're 18 to 23, you're time rich and money poor. But as the average age of the gamer and both hosts of Ice Cream Uploads has moved into the late 20s and then the early 30s as well. God damn.
Adult gaming, baby.
It's the opposite, right? Maybe you aren't money rich, but you're definitely time poor. So I think our approach is a mismatch to that market, to reality. Layden also suggested that constant chase for the intricate levels of detail ramp up production costs, and that if games are too long and players don't reach the end, that results in a lot of resources spent on content few actually get to see. I'm going to stop there because it just kind of keeps going forward. We kind of get where it's going. Video games cost a shed load of money. People don't have a shed load of time. You could save a shed load of money by making games require a shed load less time. Shorter games, less cost, more enjoyment, more sustainable. What are your thoughts on that, Mr. Bibb?
Yeah, this has so many different layers to it. It's for certain genres of game, the time is important. If you're playing a JRPG, if it's any shorter than like 30, 40 hours, I can pretty much guarantee that people are gonna it's gonna be panned. Like it's just not gonna fly. But if it's a survival horror game and it's lasting 30 hours, then there is definitely something wrong. Like I was mortified that the the original Silent Hill is like 10 hours, and I'm like 17 hours into it, and I'm near the end. But it feels like I've been playing. It feels like I would have completed the original game twice. Like it's same with the Resident Evil franchise when they remade those. Like I could probably finish Resident Evil 3 in, I don't know, maybe 3 hours, and then you play the remake of it. I don't know why Alexa's just started barking at me.
Is that what it was? I thought something vibrated, or you let a popper go or something.
Alexa just started. I don't know that. Obviously. Resident Evil 3 remake's probably like 6 hours, which is double the time, but it's still within that. It's still within that bracket of the 10 to 11 hours. An MMO, if you get the base game and then the expansion, your expansion, you're probably looking at about 30 hours. So again, what he's saying is right, but I think it definitely comes down to the genre of game. Like a first party single player experience, I've probably got no time for a 40-hour game, 30-hour game now. The multiplayer aspects of most people's lives now is their bread and butter. Like people aren't really as arsed. This is going to piss a lot of people off. But multiplayer is now the most dominant part of video games, and I don't think that I'm wrong in saying that. I also don't think that is something that people have never heard before. Like the single player aspect of video games nowadays is not the bread and butter of the industry. Multiplayer is, because that is where the companies can make all of their money back. They can make their entire budget back in 1 or 2 months through battle passes or paid currencies within the game for you to be able to
1 or 2
buy.
days, depending on how big a pop it gets.
Absolutely. So that is their bread and butter nowadays, and it's annoying to say because I am 100% still in the single player category, depending on what genre it is and how much I'm excited to play the game. Are the controls nice? Are the graphics nice? Is the storyline engaging? All of those things are boxes I need to tick before I continue with the game and look to complete it, because I've got a stack of games, as probably everybody else does, where the start game probably get 25% drop off because it's not sitting right with them, or I get 75% of the way. I love it, but something else has come out and then I need to go and play that instead. So it's a never-ending vicious circle that most of us are probably stuck in, especially with young families. But I'm 33 now. I'm very much in the time poor. Definitely, I'm definitely not money rich either. But I'm definitely at a point now where my boy
just 2 Lambos.
Yeah, just the 2 Lambos. My boy's nearly 3 now, so like more and more of my time is going to be dedicated to him. He's going to want to go and play for a football team or continue going to gymnastics or whatever. So the time that I have at weekends is going to shrink even more, which is where the handheld aspects of my life is starting to pick back up again. So I can play it in between. I can sit downstairs and watch him do whatever the fuck he wants to do, roll around the floor. I can do all of that stuff. But actually sitting there for 5 hours a day is just not a viable option anymore. So my game time has just decreased. So a lot of the things what he's saying is right and resonates with me, but I do think it comes down to genres of games that people are interested in.
I do like the fact that he's saying it though, because I feel like it's not getting said enough, and I do agree with what he's saying about make them shorter. Not because I want less game for my money, but quite often video games feel like they have to be a certain length to justify existing, so they just put shit in it. Obviously, we can mention the Assassin's Creeds and the XP grinds and stuff in that, but I won't go that way. I'll go towards TV. I don't like watching TV series from the 90s and 2000s because they all have 25 episodes a season, 45 minutes each, and you only really need to see 8 to 12 of those episodes. You'll get like the first couple of episodes, they start building something, then you'll get a throwaway episode as episode 3 and 4, then we'll go back to a little bit on 5, and then 2 more throwaway episodes as they do something else that doesn't really do anything. It just fucking pads the shit out. And that was the same thing. It was only when we started to get to subscription model stuff that people they realised that people can just not pay for your shit. So why are we going to fill in 20 fucking weeks of TV just for advertising revenues and stuff, whereas we can just give all 10 episodes now and make people blah, blah, blah. So they realised they had to be more creative with how they put content out and make it bang, because if there's shit loads of stuff, people in a world where people have so many distractions, they're not going to keep their attention fixed on you if you've just got filler. Like one of the worst for me was Arrow and Flash. Loved those seasons, those series, but it got very guilty of crap that just didn't happen and was pointless. And 3 episodes of a mini story that was bullshit that got forgotten as soon as you got past it because we're back onto the real side. And just like snooze. I do not care for watching 8 seasons of 25 episodes. I'll tell me what happens. I'd rather have a TLDR summary because fuck that. Whereas 10 episodes, yeah, I'll take that. 8 episodes, okay, same. 12 episodes, fine. 15 episodes, okay, wait, what does it need to be? Does it need to be? Because like now you're pushing it. And then same thing with video games. Like looking at Mordor, the 2 games, Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor, one is about 15 hours, one's about 20 hours. I'm like, okay, that's good. Because that's 3 to 4 to 5 days, depending on how many hours. Can you stop doing scoops on Friday? Nope, no, can't, mate.
Did you ever play that? I know. Sorry for interjecting here, but it's something that genuinely I was thinking about in the shower the other day because me and you just had the conversation about what you were playing on your Steam Deck and installing Shadow of War and Mordor. Did you ever play the Mad Max game that came out on PS4?
No, I worked an event with it, but I didn't. That's the closest I got to it. So I saw the actual next. I said with it, we were stood next to the stand, so I was chatting to the people. So our stand was next to theirs. So like, yeah, I saw it being played, but only the bit of it at the event.
It's very much like, I know you might be. I mean, I don't think I've ever had that much of an in-depth conversation with you about it, but I don't know whether or not you are like a proper huge Lord of the Rings fan, which is obviously where the Shadow of Mordor and War come from. But I know you like Mad Max, right?
Yeah. I am also a Lord of the Rings fan. Yeah.
Yeah, so the Mad Max is basically like Shadow of War Mordor. It plays exactly the same. Obviously, the theme of it is completely different, but plays exactly the same. And it's definitely worth your time. It's a fun game. And I think you could probably do it in like 15 hours, which is great. So that's definitely one to add in your list if you haven't. It's regularly on sale on Steam as well. Like you could pick it up for like £2.
Yeah, just like the thing that you mentioned as well about single player versus multiplayer. I'm like, babe, I am very invested in single player games. I prefer the narrative experience of a single player game than I do playing most multiplayer games. But I love the social aspect that comes with playing multiplayer games with good people. But because my stream content is based around multiplayer content and keeping that going off stream as well means I don't always have the time to play single player stuff. So losing the internet the other week meant I played fucking Detroit Become Human, which was a phenomenal game. That's been sat on my fucking PlayStation since 2018. Like, so fuck, finally got around to it. But yeah, phenomenal experience. And there's so many good games out there. Games that are 10 to 20 hours is the sweet spot for me. 10 hours is might be too brief. 20 hours might be too long, but that's the sort of window. 10 could be perfect. 20 could be perfect. You never know. Somewhere around there. But that's it for me. So, Jedi Fallen Order. Love that game. Still got Jedi Survivor sat there waiting to be played. Still got Horizon Zero Dawn sat there to be played. Still got God of War sat there to be played. Still got Cyberpunk sat there waiting to be opened.
Nice.
Goddamn. So, yeah. I do agree with Sean Layden in terms of generally games should be shorter. There was a comment in the chat from JMK, I think it was, who said JRPGs need to be about 100 hours. Yeah, that's fine. But JRPGs and your full, all singing, all dancing, mega 3D immersive worlds, usually. So they have their different development costs and different development scales. They don't need teams of hundreds of audio engineers and so on working on it as well. And that's where the sustainability angle comes in, is if you're making AAA studio games, then you get AAA studio costs. And if you've got AAA studio games and costs, then get AAA studio content and sell on that. Don't sell on the 100 hours worth of content. Okay, let me catch up. There was penis jokes. G complaining that things are too long. Normally complaining that things are too short. Hey, I'm not complaining, mate. It's not me that complains. Which Wes just said. That's Mrs. Day complaining about things being too short. Yeah, I mean it's not my problem, mate. It works for me. As my dad always used to say, rest in peace, Mr. Day. He used to say, "How big is it? It's big enough to fill a pram." There you go. That's all you need to know. Bosh. The reason they have filler episodes is to make it long enough to get money from syndication rights. Some of the yeah, exactly. Advertising bullshit. That's the bit I was saying. Didn't need that explaining, but thanks, David. Anyone else nervous when Bibby said, "Do you know what I was thinking about in the shower?" That's worth a sound clip.
Listen, right. Some of my best ideas come when I'm in the
shower
shower
thoughts.
it's
Hashtag shower thoughts.
Like literally, I need like a grease-proof pen or something like that, just to be able to draw on the walls. So when I go back in afterwards, it's still there for me to be. I mean, Joseph used to have them. He used to have crayons for the wall in the bath. Like that kind of shit.
Yes,
because
Joseph
it's just you
had
and your
the crayons. It was Joseph.
It's just you and your thoughts in it. Like I can lock the door, no one's gonna come in, and it's just me in there for like 20 minutes with my own thoughts.
I always think about shit in the shower. Like some of my like fucking epiphany moments come in the shower sort of stuff. So yeah, hashtag shower thought. Let's go, baby. I knew he was thinking of G. Yeah, well, yeah. Before the stream, he's like, "Oh, do you know what I was thinking about in the shower?" And it ended up being a conversation about how many fingers. No, actually, never mind. We'll talk about that elsewhere. Joseph was the only one allowed crayons. Bibby would eat. Yeah, good point. Fair, well played.
Fair.
Yeah,
Fair,
nice.
fair.
Fuck off with your shower thought shit. Yeah, me and Nietzsche were talking about it the other week. There you go. Fun times. Shower shite banter. Yeah, video games cost a lot, is the summary from Sean Layden, which is understandable and ties us nicely up to jump into our final story before we start giving you free shits. Well, we're not giving you free shit, but we'll tell you where you can get it. This article, written for VG247 by Mark Warren, says XDefiant becomes the latest live service thing to bite the bullet, with Ubisoft set to shut studios and lay off up to 277 staff. Woof. Unfortunately, the journey became too much to sensibly continue, is the quote that comes with that. So the article says, XDefiant, Ubisoft's free-to-play FPS... Free-to-play? Did I say that, or did I say play? I don't know.
You definitely said play.
Nice. Free to play. I mean, it is free to play. It's free to do whatever you want with it, mate. It's also free to play. It's an FPS, and it's had its plug pulled. The publisher announced that it's made the difficult decision to discontinue development of the shooter, with the consequence being that up to 277 staff are set to be laid off as part of changes that will see San Francisco and Osaka studios be shut down, while its studio in Sydney will ramp down. This has been outlined in a couple of statements put out by Ubisoft regarding the decision, one via a blog post on the company's website penned by Chief Studios and Portfolio Officer Marie-Sophie DeWarbert. We'll assume that's Wobbuffet, the Pokemon. Nice. And another by XDefiant executive producer Mark Rubin on social media. Quote, despite an encouraging start, the team's passionate work and a committed fan base, we've not been able to attract and retain enough players in the long run to compete at the level we aim for in the very demanding free-to-play FPS market. We'll go Wobbear, like Lambert. DeWarbert Row. As a result, the game is too far away from reaching the results required to enable further significant investment, and we are announcing that we will be sunsetting it. Concretely, that means that as of today, new downloads, player registrations, and purchases will no longer be available. Season 3 will still launch, and the servers will remain active until June the 3rd, 2025, out of appreciation for both our dev teams who worked on it and for XDefiant's active players, end quote. Rubin's message added that, quote, for those who purchased the Ultimate Founders Pack, you'll receive a full refund. Players who made any purchases within the last 30 days will also be refunded. Those refunds should happen automatically within 8 weeks of today, and you can find more details on our official website. As part of the game's shutdown, Ubisoft says it's set to lay off staff, something we've seen way too much across the games industry this year, and that likely stings even more in this case, given news of it dropping so close to the holidays. According to DWabe, almost half of the XDefiant team worldwide will be transitioning to other roles within Ubisoft, but 143 staff in San Francisco are losing their jobs, along with a further 134, quote, likely to depart in Osaka and Sydney, making that aforementioned total of up to 277. Quote, free-to-play in particular is a long journey, wrote Rubin, who denied shutdown rumours as recently as October. Quote, many free-to-play games take a long time to find their footing and become profitable. It's a long journey that Ubisoft and the teams working on the game were prepared to make until very recently, but unfortunately, the journey became too much to sensibly continue, end quote. While it got to live a lot longer than Concord, the other high-profile shooter that a large company's taken out... I get it now. Get what it's saying. While it got to live a lot longer than Concord, the other high-profile shooter that a large company's taken out back and shot recently after it didn't create a huge initial cash fountain, or just enough to be deemed worthy to keep going long-term, it's still sad to see XDefiant go out like this. The question of whether it could carve out enough of a dedicated audience in the long term was always the game's big burden to bear, with Call of Duty dropping another would-be FPS genre attention-soaking behemoth in Black Ops 6. Whoever wrote this, Mark Warren, you don't need to be that dramatic with your sentences. Fuck me. Anyway, Call of Duty is successful. And has now been given a pretty definitive answer by Ubisoft. Both Connor and Fran had posted things to say about the game. Do you know what? We'll leave it there. But okay. Bye, mates. XDefiant has become the latest live service thing to bite the bullet. Surprise, babe?
Do you know what, Graham? I genuinely am. I'm not usually, because anything that wants to try and contend with Call of Duty, especially because Call of Duty is free to play for the most part if you want Warzone. But the fact that it's obviously taken this year for them to be able to put it on Game Pass, I think that might have been the last, it bit the bullets with it, the last straw for XDefiant, because the player base that probably might not have got Call of Duty and continued with XDefiant, likelihood is they're already signed up to Xbox Game Pass and they've got a reason to be able to play the full version of Call of Duty Black Ops 6. So it is kind of devastating, actually, because XDefiant went toe-to-toe, I think, for a large part of its life cycle with Call of Duty, and I think they did a lot of things right. But I feel like that opening season, it lasted forever, and I feel like they didn't move fast enough when they had the player base. I don't think they give enough content out, new maps and things like that fast enough, and I think that's where people started to fall off. Because you can get, if they've only got 3 or 4 maps to contend with, then the fatigue hits quite quickly. There isn't enough game modes to keep people coming back to and things like that. So I don't know what this means for XDefiant in the future, whether or not they're going to move away from the team deathmatch capture the flag aspect and then just maybe do a battle royale instead and phase something else in, like XDefiant and then a unique name to go alongside it, and just retire the full game as it stands now.
I think they'll get rid of it all. I think XDefiant is now synonymous with failure. That brand just does not exist now for me. And if we're honest, XDefiant isn't really a great name.
No.
Like, what does it mean? At least Call of Duty, you understand. It's the Call of Duty. That's the point. The name came...
Medal of Honor.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It means something.
But XDefiant...
Medal of Honor doesn't exist anymore either, so...
Why are we defying X? Or is X defying us? Like, is it anything like XG? Is it expected number of Defiant? I don't know what it is. So, like... I've just clicked on an advert in this. Nice. Great. So, yeah, for me, I am not surprised by this. Because... whilst I see good stuff around XDefiant, I remember, obviously, we are Ubisoft creators, and we have Ubisoft creators around us, so seeing the likes of Fixer and Wobbles and Tido playing this on Twitch, saying good stuff about it, it was never bad stuff, but it was never the best stuff either. And that's the key thing. Like, you will see massive games that people almost have to play like your FC 25 and stuff and go, yeah, this game's shit. But they'll still play it because it's a cultural, societal thing. And then you'll see
You do it with
games.
PUBG.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, there's so many things that you hate about it, but it's in your daily grind. It's in your daily routine.
The social circle is already established and stuff in there. And the same thing goes with your Call of Duties and so on. So XDefiant has to do something different. Or it needs to survive long enough for players to have it as a social part of life, something that's ingrained in their society. And it's not had that. It's the first iteration of a game that took a long time to get here. And it's not bad, but it's not special. Concord was not bad, but it's nothing special. Like, you're doing the same thing as my Call of Duty, but in a different place, where all of my friends aren't, and where all of my skins aren't, and so on. It's the exact same conversation that Xbox and PlayStation had when Phil Spencer said they lost the wrong generation. They lost that Xbox 360 generation when everyone built up their digital libraries. So people already have their attachment to their digital libraries on PlayStation. Xbox will always find it almost always insurmountable ever to beat that. And that's what Call of Duty is. That's the shooter that's in someone's digital library. That's what Fortnite is. That's what PUBG is. So is XDefiant just going to come in and say, we've not met before, I want to be your best friend, and your best friend is called Kevin. My name is Schmevin. I know we don't have all of the history that you and your best mate do. I know we didn't go to the same school like you and your best mate did, but I sound the same almost. So is that enough? You're like, no, that's fucking weird. And that's what XDefiant is as a video game. You've got a stupid version of a name, and you're doing all the things that Kevin does. Fuck off, Schmevin. Nobody gives a shit. And it's that sort of stuff. Like, what are you bringing to the table that's different? Like, if you'd brought muffins, some extra cakes and stuff, maybe I'm thinking, Kevin's not brought me muffins or cakes for a while. Schmevin might be the one. Do you know what? Fair enough. Give me some treats and something different. Nice. But as it stands, me and Kevin went to the same school, mate. Get chuffed. Nah.
It is. I mean, I hate working in esports is fantastic, right? Because you see everything from grassroots all the way up to world championships. Now, that's just me, obviously, someone who works in that part of the industry, so I get to see the whole bigger picture, rather than it just being the world finals, which a lot of people probably are paying more attention to rather than the grassroots stuff. Unless you are actually competing in the grassroots things, you probably don't pay that much attention to it. There'll be local events that are going on where you and your buddies can just pair up and go and take part in these tournaments. It might be stuff that's being done online, and with the main goal, obviously, making it to the global championships, which very much like professional football, you're looking at your top 1%. Your top 0.5% of people who are insanely good at the game, you probably never even get close to. You're probably the best amateur teams that are in the grassroots level. I'm saying this because I saw none of that with XDefiant. I see it with Call of Duty. I see it with eFootball. I see it with FIFA. I see it with all these other competitive games, League of Legends, Overwatch. You're probably going to see Marvel Rivals stuff, Fortnite. All of these games will have such a competitive background across the board, where people are either paying attention to what they're seeing on the screens because they're watching the global finals, or they're taking part in the grassroots stuff. None of which, and it might have gone under my radar, which then it gives you the even bigger point of, I never saw any of this. And I'm not saying that esports is the be all and end all and is going to be the thing that ends up propping your game up. But for a lot of people who are playing these sorts of FPF games, the best part of that is winning and playing in tournaments and getting ranking points and being top of leaderboards and being the best clan in the game and stuff like that. Whether or not you're a casual or someone that enjoys winning, all of those things point towards a esports structure from the ground up. And again, I didn't see any of that with this. Whether or not it was something that they was working towards, something that should have implemented a lot sooner. Maybe they should have advertised with Twitch at having XDefiant global events and stuff like that, where it is just invited esports orgs just to get this game front and center, because
I think
newsflash, a lot of esports tournaments are just marketing campaigns.
I think that ties into all of it. Like, I don't know if you remember a few weeks back when I was saying, I think Ubisoft are kind of stuck. Like, and it might be when we're talking about Outlaws and not doing the bits and so on. Ubisoft are stuck in the same flawed processes, for want of a better phrase. I can't think of the word I'm trying to say. They do the same things that they've done for a million years. They always use the same creators. They always advertise in the same sort of ways, and nothing hits. And it doesn't matter if it's XDefiant, their own IP. It could be Star Wars. Star Wars Outlaws is a good game. I don't care what you say, it's a good game. It might not be the best game you've ever played, but it's good, and it deserved better than what it got. But they didn't really do anything with it. That you went to a gaming event and you could stand and get your photo taken with a droid. Nice one. Like, beyond that, it's all we'd sponsored, and it's always, let's put a bit of money on Shroud, let's put a bit of money on Lyric, let's put a bit of money on these people that are going to be massive and get a bunch of what we call vanity metrics. Nice one. 10 bajillion people watched it. But who watched it? Like, they saw it, but did they watch it? That you got viewers, but who actually looked? Or were they watching Shroud play another game on stream kind of thing? And that's the thing, is like, if Shroud plays it and puts it down and then goes back to playing CSGO, I mean, he didn't usually play that anymore, but let's say that's what he's playing, you know that he's not resonated with him. The fact that he doesn't carry on playing it after his sponsored segment means he either knows that he's cutting himself off for extra sponsorship because he's going to play it anyway, or it's not good enough for him to play. So either way, these players aren't picking up these games naturally and playing it because it doesn't speak there. So find different ways of marketing it. Either make the game speak to him and his audiences, or do something different. And that's it. Tito says they really need to innovate 100%. Don't just go, okay, we'll stick an advert on a bus, we'll sponsor a few big streamers, and then we'll do some Keymailer-esque sort of level micro-influencer campaigns and stuff, and hopefully that'll be enough to do it. Nah, you need your big TV spots, or you need to do something that fully cuts through. And what that is not easy to say, because it changes depending on what's happening in the world, where people are digesting content, what content they're digesting. You have to do something big in the moment, and they don't do that. Or the best thing they've done, in my opinion, in the last 10 years was they got Boss Logic to do a live stream where he showed how he made the case work, the pack shot, the key art for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And Boss Logic, if you don't know, is a world-class artist. It designed some PlayStation cases and stuff, the Spider-Man stuff for the PS5 before it launched and so on. They were only like unofficial mock-ups, but he was commissioned by Ubisoft to design some key art for Assassin's Creed, and you could watch him do it live going along as he went through. And that sort of shit was cool. Really easy to do, basic, but it was almost the same impact as having a massive countdown stream, because people couldn't play the game. It wasn't out yet, but you could see some creative person going through the process. So creatives were looking for, is that our top-level designer does that shit? Assassin's Creed fans were just, I want to see the brand come to life. Other people like, I don't know what's happening, but shitloads of people are watching it, so I'm going to watch it as well. And it's that sort of like groundswell movement that led to Assassin's Creed Valhalla being one of those moments where people just thought, you know what, Assassin's Creed might be back. It might be here now. We might be back to a good game, not just seasonal shit that's the same crap peddled every year sort of stuff. But other than that, they've not really done anything different. Everything seems to be the same sort of stuff. And I think, for me, XDefiant kind of falls in with that. It's harsh to say, because I am a fan of Ubisoft's titles. Assassin's Creed, phenomenal. The fact that they've got Star Wars licenses, yes, please. The fact that they're creative and they have everything on their portfolio, from top-level shooters and Rainbow Six Sieges and stuff like that, through to fucking Just Dance and Rabbids and so on. The fact that they are...
The Division's massive.
Yeah, phenomenal. In terms of, well, could be. But I'll wrap that back a bit. I won't say phenomenal because it's definitely got its issues as well. But like, they have such scope. They're willing to see a video game across the entire landscape. But their way of putting that forward, it seems like they are stuck in 2012. Like, do something for now. Think about what you can do for next year, not how you did it last year, kind of thing. And that comes back to XDefiant in terms of the same goes for the gameplay as well. Like, oh great, you've made a shooter, you're Ubisoft, and you make good games. People like your games, and it goes well. Doesn't work anymore. Like, because anyone can make a good game now. Whether it's Inner Sloth making fucking Among Us, or whether it's what's it called? Game Machine, who's just made the 5-star rated game for Bethesda for Indiana Jones or whatever. Anyone can make a game as long as the conditions are right and the journey's right. So just because you're Ubisoft, who were the biggest brand in video game development in the entirety of Europe, doesn't guarantee you a seat at the table anymore. So don't just make me a game that doesn't have an identity. Make me a game that has an identity and find an innovative way of presenting it to me, and then we can talk. Nice. Annoyingly, they have some excellent IP, but they just don't maximize it. I also agree their marketing is shocking. It's not bad. I wouldn't use the word shocking. It's just not great, which means it's bad by definition, I suppose. Your marketing, if you're not marketing something well, then you are not marketing. That is the point of it. So they are ticking boxes with their marketing. They are putting good content out for people to see, but it's not the best content in the right places. You put the world's greatest advert in front of the wrong people, it's a wasted advert, and that's what it is for me. But I'm not saying they are doing the world's greatest adverts, but it's the wrong content in the wrong places, is it? Anyway, let's talk about right content in right places, and the right content for everyone is free shit. Nice. Yeah. Let's jump over to the next article, which is the first of a 2-part Free Game Friday. Written by Morgan Park over at PC Gamer with extra contributors. This week's free game, I can't find. There we go. Is it another one of these? No. Yep. Okay. Do you know what? We had to do this last week or whenever it was when Bibby wasn't here. They just haven't bothered updating their page. Oh no, they have. No, they haven't. Yeah, they haven't. So I'm trying to figure out what it is. I've looked at the dates. So yeah, for anyone that can't see this, if you listen to this as the podcast, basically, PC Gamer have one page that shows their free games every week that they update. A couple of weeks ago, they didn't update it. And this week, they haven't updated it. But I can see what the free game is because they always tell you what's coming next week. So it still says Brotato is free. It's not. Brotato finished being free at about 4 p.m. yesterday. However, below that, it does say December 5th to December 12th, you can get Bus Simulator 21 Next Stop and Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga. So even though it's not told us about them, it's told us what they are. So those are the games that you can get. Bus Simulator 21 Next Stop and Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga. All you need is an Epic Games account. Go on, add them to your library. Bosh, you've got them to play whenever you want. A full series of Star Wars games in the Lego universe. Definite recommend. Yeah, absolute. Yeah. Wonderful for eBay.
I mean, you must. Most people must have it by now because I think that they genuinely give it away multiple times across multiple different platforms. So chances are you probably already got it on one of your own platforms if you're not a PC gamer. So yeah, I mean, it's a great game nonetheless.
Yeah. And if you're not a fan of that, don't worry. There's more. And shout out to Chris Scullion at VGC who has updated his article. Amazon Prime Gaming is offering a further 10 free games to mark its secret level series. The games all have links to the upcoming animated anthology. So Amazon Prime Gaming has announced that it's giving away a further 10 free PC games this month to mark its upcoming series Secret Level. Released on December the 10th, Secret Level is an animated anthology with each episode based on a different game. Is this the one that was advertised during opening night live? If it is, it looked decent. Anyway,
I don't remember.
We'll leave that behind. To mark its imminent release, Prime Gaming is adding 10 more free PC games on top of the regular monthly games already offered to subscribers. The games either feature in Secret Level or are part of the same universe. As with Prime Gaming's usual monthly offerings, these games can be kept once claimed and can continue to be played if the member's Amazon Prime subscription ends in the future. I didn't actually know that bit. That's cool. The extra free games are available now with one exception and are as follows. Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition, Baldur's Gate 2 Enhanced Edition, Necromunda Hired Gun, Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition, The Outer Worlds. What's that?
That's how it's Belter. Neverwinter Nights.
Never played it. Didn't know. So there you go. I've heard of Outworlds. I've heard that's a belter as well. So another belter. Space Hulk Deathwing Enhanced Edition, Spelunky, Warhammer 40,000. There's 3 of those. There's Dawn of War and Space Marine, and Dawn of War 2 will be added on the 12th of December. So Prime Gaming notes that the 3 Warhammer 40,000 games are single-player only with no online multiplayer mode. Amazon already previously revealed the other 17 games offered to Prime Gaming members throughout December, and December's games include titles such as Star Wars Bounty Hunter, Tomb Raider Underworld, Overcooked 2, Call of Juarez Gunslinger, Dredge, Quake 2, and Predator Hunting Grounds. So if you have Amazon Prime, make sure you link your accounts, get your Prime Gaming benefits, and get all the free shit, as well as subscribe to Ice Cream Uploads on Twitch with your free Prime sub. Yeah.
Baby. Well, that's it. Nice.
We finished. Thank you, everyone, for sticking around. Just a quick reminder, a recap, should I say, for everyone that may have dropped in late. Fortnite OG will rotate Chapter 1 seasons every couple of months. Brendan Green, the creator of PUBG, nice. PUBG is working on Preface, which is a preface to Prologue, which is a prologue to Artemis, which is an Artemis to... fuck knows, I don't know. He's working on a bunch of stuff, but you can play Preface, which is a free game on Steam right now. It's more of a tech demo, but go check it out. Games are too big and expensive, says Sean Layden, ex-PlayStation boss. XDefiant clearly was too big and expensive because they've shut it down, and sadly, 277 members of staff could be losing their jobs. But it's okay because we've got free stuff to play, like Lego Star Wars and Warhammer games and stuff. Nice. Yes. Nice. Not making light of people losing jobs. It's shit. It sucks, but there we go. Okay, we're going to wrap things up. Thank you, everyone that has been stuck around in the stream for the last hour or so. Dr. Mike for the raid. Jay Stokes.
Free game
Friday. Nice. For getting involved. Tito for the FF. Also, I did a shout out for Mikey Larkin. Shout out to Mikey Larkin for following us yesterday and doing one of the coolest things I've seen on Twitch, by the way. I do like to try and justify why we're asking someone to follow someone, because every stream someone goes, you should follow this person, you should follow that person, and most of the time people think I can follow who I want. But Mikey Larkin did a good one where he was like, oh, Ice Cream, I checked your channel out and your channel video is fucking amazing. I'm gonna definitely come and check your streams when I can. Anyone in my stream, follow that stream now. And then he went, Ice Cream, this one for you. So you can see, and he went like, in the chat we have Tido, we have Fatman Dave, we have Lake, we have West, we have Gagad, we have Nietzsche. If any of those people who are here now don't follow you, let me know and we'll call them out and ban them from the stream. And then all of a sudden sat there listening to bloop, as people just started following the channel. So fucking amazing. It clearly wasn't going to ban them and whatever, but you know, banter. It made things happen. So nice. Yeah. So shout out to Mikey Larkin for having a little bit of banter with his community and getting Wexford, Proud Viking, Mel Streams, and Adam Connolly to drop follows instantly out of fear of being booted. What a guy. Can I try that here for my channel? Yeah, see how you get on, mate. Click. Hover. Tell me if it says anything. I'll hit this. Oh, fuck it, I'll hit it anyway. Boop. Bye. Ken, how you doing, mate? Gagad, I did see you, by the way. Sorry for ignoring you, but I'm just rude and ignorant. Tiffany, the 80s singer? Is that who you think of in the shower? Oh, Epiphany. Yeah, well, it's a bit of both, you know. Can't complain. Nice. Okay, we're going to wrap things up. Thank you for sticking around. We are going to bounce. We will be back tonight with some ICF action as Bibby and Fixer get all foosbally for your viewing pleasure. I will be back tomorrow up until about 2 p.m. for some PUBG stuff because I'm finishing a little earlier than I usually do to go out and go some Christmas markets, baby. So yeah, nice. Two streams,
Did you hear
2
that
days.
the ones in Deansgate actually got cancelled? I don't know if that one was on your radar.
Oh, no. I mean, we went round them the other day when we were in town on Tuesday for my birthday-ish stuff, so we've done a little bit of a meander.
Okay.
Oh, no, it was Sunday. Sunday.
They was doing extra ones down in Deansgate that were like 40 small independent ones that wasn't just selling tat and sausages, so it's going to be other vendors down there away from the actual German Christmas markets. And it's meant to start today, but this Hurricane Gale thing that's coming over, this severe weather warning that's been issued, they've cancelled them now. So the 3-day event that they spent the entire week building now not going ahead. So
Nice.
God knows what they're going to be doing with all of those things.
Great success. I mean, Christmas markets are Christmas markets. I like them for being there, but we tend to just do like one or two, and then we'll go to a fucking Weatherspoons or something like that because I'm going to spend £17 on one cup of warm mulled wine, or I'm going to spend £17 on one shit beer served in a plastic cup. Nah, you're all right, mate. So
go to that place that I told you about. Honestly, if I was to recommend one place after walking around the mall, that is the place that I'm recommending out of them all.
What, that foodie place?
Yeah, you actually getting good value for money, and the food was exceptional.
There was we walked past something just off of Deansgate, where what's it called? Fucking the bottom of town where all the bank shit is. What's that area called? Spinning Fields. There we go. Top of Spinning Fields, just in front of Australasia Bar. There is a little, basically a chip van, one of those frites sort of van, and it had like the Italian, the French, the whatever, and the Italian one was like bolognese and pepperoni or something on, and cheese all over chips. Then the American one was like what's chopped cheese, but Philly cheesesteak. That's it, Philly cheesesteak on chips. And then so me and Dad are like, well, maybe we go there for when we come in. I was like, yep, sold. Nice meat and chips, cheese, yes please, sold. But yes, anyway, that's what we'll be doing this weekend. What are you guys doing? Do feel free to let us know tonight or tomorrow when we get the streams out. But that's then. This is now. Anything else you'd like to add before then becomes the now, Mr. Bibb?
Yes, it's my birthday on Monday.
Is it? It's still my birthday month, though, so...
9/12 in the chat. That doesn't exist. But no, we'll be back next Friday with another episode of The Scoop. Thank you very much for joining us today. We haven't actually got that many left, I think. If I just quickly bring up my calendar, maybe we've got 2. Yeah, we've got 2 left of this year. So that will be the... No, it's not. Yeah, well, we're working on the 20th, aren't we? So we've genuinely got 2 left. 13th and 20th left. So if you want to help shape those 2 remaining shows, there is 2 ways you could do so. First of all, find us on social media. This is at Ice Cream Motors across all major social media platforms, or alternatively get involved with our Discord. All we need from you is a URL plus your thoughts and opinions. We will then give you our thoughts and opinions on the very next show, which will be at what time? Next Friday, Mr. Graham Day.
Maybe 10 a.m.-ish. We'll see. Nice.
We'll see.
Exclamation mark 912. No, we've already got a command for Bibby, because 912. I mean, what's 9 in German?
No.
There you go. That's it. There's Bibby's birthday shout out. Lovely. 9 is...
No.
9 is...
No.
Nice. Manchester Christmas Markets 2023 mug. Yeah, they'll probably have them as well. They do a lot of recycling the mugs every year, which... You've ordered too many, mate. Don't give me none of this recycling bullshit. You've charged me a bajillion quid to hold on to this crappy little mug, and it says 2022 on it. Get in the bin! But anyway, that's that. Anyway, we're going to bounce. Thank you all for sticking around. Appreciate you dropping in. Nietzsche is off out on the beers tonight, so he's going to be recovering. Tito says, is it a Man City one? Careful it doesn't fall apart. Banter. And all the rest. Stick around for the raid. We don't know who's going to be. We'll figure that out in the end slate. But until then, stay frosty, mother bitches!